Hello, I'm Lovgren. I'm the Community Mitigation Manager for Eagle County. And we're here in the Sky Legend community in Gypsum, Colorado to talk about community wildfire risk and ways that people unintentionally invite wildfires onto their property and ways that we might mitigate that threat through hardening homes for ember exposure, through creating defensible space by managing vegetation, both native and landscaping around your house, and then finally how you might better prepare yourself and your family for the inevitable return of wildfire to our community. So let's take a look at this place and jump right into it. So as a wildfire approaches this home, the first thing that will arrive will be burning flying embers. So we want to pay particular attention to where those embers may land on the structure. So we'll look at the roof and work our way down, and we see here we have a gable vent in this wall. Now that's designed to bring air into the house, and with it, it will bring large burning embers into the attic space. So we mitigate that by providing an 1/8 of an inch metal screening behind it, so anything that gets through isn't big enough to do any damage. So we want to look at all of the fuels on the property, both the home itself and the vegetation surrounding it. So anything that burns is fuel, and that's what we're going to work on looking at next. So a wildfire looks to consume fuels, and in the case of this house and this community, there are a variety of fuels present. We have vegetative fuels in the form of trees and shrubs, and then we have built fuels in the form of this house and everything that goes into it. And they're not all created equal. So in this situation, part of this wall uses a cement fiber board, which is extremely ignition and fire resistant. And that is a great mitigation strategy against potential flame exposure to this wall. But then we have a small section here that has wood siding and a window on it, which are both potential weak points in the exterior armor of this building. So going with a gravel, rock, non-combustible surface that extends out from your foundation like this is a great idea to prevent fire from moving along the surface towards the exterior wall or from embers collecting in there and igniting the home. But in this case, we've planted a bunch of woody shrubs in here that could catch a spark and ignite, bringing fire to the wall. And as we turn the corner here into the side yard, we'll notice that there's a bunch of native grasses and sage and other shrubs mixing with juniper that has been planted here, most likely to hide the HVAC and other utilities back here in an effort to beautify the home. But what has happened is we've essentially stacked a bunch of gasoline on a stick next to this wood wall, inviting fire in its many forms to come here and ignite this home. So we mitigate by removing combustible vegetation like juniper and sagebrush and potentee and other woody shrubs, replacing with hardscaping and other kind of perennial type growth or fire resistant species of plants. So now let's take a look at what's going on behind this house. As we see, this owner has already identified that having combustible vegetation near exterior walls represents a potential fire hazard. So we want to continue this work out past the initial 5 feet, looking at removing some of these woody shrubs, getting them out in a way, promoting healthier green vegetation, and keeping native grasses low within 30 feet of a structure as well. And by low, I mean less than 6 inches. We also want to look at any kind of attachment to the building. So here we have a large deck extending out over this gully. And a good thing to think about when you're looking at your own home is that if it's attached to your home, it's part of your home. So my recommendation here would be to junk the juniper and go with a much more ignition resistive type landscaping, which could be perennial or annual type flowers, or it could be more native shrubs that have that are deciduous in nature and have a higher moisture content and don't provide as much fuel next to this built fuel that is this home. So now that we've done everything humanly possible to prepare this home and surrounding area for fire, we need to start talking about the people who live in here. And the first thing is being notified of the fact that there is a fire and it's time to evacuate, which starts with signing up for a notification system. In this county, it's ecalert.org. And you'll be able to go in there and sign up all of your mobile devices and be aware of all kinds of emergencies that are happening, especially wildfire emergencies and when it's time to evacuate. A good rule of thumb when it is time to evacuate is to start with the P's and start going through making sure you have people and pets first. Then the second order of business is prescriptions and paperwork, pictures, passports, other priceless items that can't be replaced all need to go with you in about a 20-minute time frame so that you know you can quickly exit the area to a safe point and let firefighters and emergency responders come in and engage the fire. Should the worst happen and you return to a complete loss of your home and property, well, it's an important thing to remember that home values and construction costs and everything basically has gone up in price, so it would be a good time before the fire to have conversations with your insurance provider about, are you adequately covered to rebuild in the event of a total loss from wildfire. Wildfires are inevitable in Colorado, but wildfire disasters are not. There are many steps you can take to reduce wildfire risk on your property and within your community. If you would like more information about how you might sign up for a free wildfire risk assessment through Eagle County or with your fire district, please visit the sites below. There's a variety of resources available to help you beyond just providing you the information. We can provide cost share assistance. We can help you at a community level with fuel reduction projects and prioritization. And together we can begin to create fire adapted communities in a more wildfire resilient Eagle County.